I am a self-confessed seed sowing control freak. I like to sow my seeds in my trays so I can have control over the temperature, control over the light conditions, and I just like to have that level of control by sowing my seeds in trays. However, I have discovered over the years that there are a few flowers that I can relinquish control to and direct seeds straight into the garden. Now, with the list that I'm going to share with you today, these are ones that I've actually found I tend to have more success with through direct seeding rather than trying to sow them in trays. And that's now why I prefer to direct seed them. For a few on the list, it's just because they are very, very easy as well. And even though I could start them in trays, they germinate fine in the garden and I don't have to go to that extra effort of keeping them in trays, growing them to seedlings and then planting them out, because I know that the germination out in the garden is going to be pretty good. So I will share the list with you that I have today. If you're new here, my name is Ellie and I'm an urban cut flower grower here in Taupo, New Zealand. I love sharing content on growing flowers, selling flowers, making bouquets. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love for you to subscribe. I've recently just come out with my very first ebook, which is a beginner's guide to growing cut flowers. So if you are a total beginner, you have no idea where to start, this is a great one for you. I've put in a few handy tips about what you need to think about before you sow your seeds, how to set up a bit of a cut flower bed situation, and then I'll talk you through how to sow some of those really beginner-friendly cut flowers as well. I'm going to talk about these in order of sowing time. So the seeds that I like to direct sow in late summer and early autumn are some of those cold hardy flowers. So the first one is larkspur, and I have tried to sow this in trays and not had much luck. As soon as I started direct seeding out in the garden, I have really, really good germination rates. So that's the reason why I really like to direct sow larkspur now. Larkspur is a cold hardy annual, so it means it's going to thrive and survive growing through a period of cold here in gardening zone 9B. And it does also need darkness to germinate. So when I direct sow my larkspur, I literally just do a little trench with my finger, about 1/2 centimetre deep, scatter my seeds and then cover. And nature does its thing. It's one that I don't even bother trying to start in trays anymore because it's just so much easier out in the garden. The next one is Nigella, and I sow this in the exact same way that I sow my larkspur. So I just dig a little trench, sprinkle my seeds in, and then cover it. And this is another one that is a cold hardy flower, so it does benefit from that early autumn sowing. I found if I sow these in very late summer, early autumn, there's still warmth in the soil that they'll then germinate really nicely before the cold kicks in, and then they have a chance to grow through autumn and winter. I will also do larkspur and nigella in early spring or late winter, early spring as well. I just found that the stems that I will get from that later sowing are a little bit shorter than the ones that I would have planted in autumn, but you can totally still do it in spring as well. Another one is cornflower, and this is one of those flowers, if you have a few plants in the garden, you're going to have it forever. If you let your plants go to seed, it will just pop up absolutely everywhere, whether you want it or not. So do think about that. If you want cornflower in your garden forever, you're probably going to have it if you buy a couple of plants or start some from seed. But cornflower is one that I will direct sow in the garden. Again, I like to give that darkness, so I will dig a little trench, sprinkle my cornflower seeds in and cover it. I'll pop up a couple of the varieties of cornflower that I really like. I am not a fan of the standard blue ones, but I grew purple seed mix last year, which I think is called Magic Mix, if I can remember correctly, but I'll pop it up on the screen. And that was a really pretty color to work with in spring flower palettes. So I am gonna just let that go to seed in the garden, and I might even plant a few in another bed that I've just started as well. This one is feverfew, which can be a little bit of a problem child. Now, I do have a video on starting feverfew from cuttings. So if you can get your hands on a couple of plants, or you've got friends that have plants, growing from cuttings is by far the easiest way I've found. But second to that, direct sowing your seed. Again, this is another one. I have sowed 100 seeds in a tray and had 3 germinate. I go and sprinkle some out in the garden and I have feverfew absolutely everywhere. So this is one that I will sprinkle in late summer and early autumn, but also in spring as well. And feverfew seed is really easy to save as well. So when you have that saved seed and you're not buying it in, you can kind of be stress less, I guess, with just sprinkling it everywhere and giving it a go. So I do recommend saving your seeds for that reason, as well as you can just be a little bit looser with how you're sowing it. You're not so precious because you haven't spent your $5 or $10 on seeds. You've got them all for free, so you can just go crazy, sprinkle them everywhere and see what happens. But feverfew is another one that I've had way more success with direct seeding. Moving into spring now, and when the frosts have passed, one that I will direct sow that is a great flower for beginners, it's going to give you so many flowers, it's cut and come again, is Cosmos. And I literally just sprinkle these seeds on top of the soil. So I don't bury these in a trench like I did with the previous flowers. I just sprinkle them on top and they will germinate. You'll have Cosmos everywhere. It's probably one of the easiest flowers to direct sow. I do still start some of my Cosmos in trays just because then I can plant them out neatly with the spacing. But you could do the same with your direct sowings and just prick out the ones that might be a little bit too close and move them to a new patch. But Cosmos are ones that I probably do 50-50 of. I go in with that early spring sowing as soon as the frosts have passed, just to get them started. But then I'll also have seedlings growing in the greenhouse from before my first frost, so I can plant out a little bit more of an established plant by the time those frosts are over. So by direct seeding your Cosmos after the frosts have passed, and also starting some seedlings before that, you get kind of quite a nice natural succession planting of Cosmos as well. Another one that I will direct seed are sunflowers. Again, I do start them in trays as well, just because we have a bird problem here. And I do find that the birds are partial to sunflowers. So by starting them in trays, I can kind of have more control over what the birds are digging up. But sunflowers are very, very easy, a great beginner flower. I really love the Pro Cut series. You do only get one cut from that, so one seed will equal one flower. It's not going to come again once you've cut it. But sunflowers are a very easy one if you have a lot of seed that you can direct sow. Again, that's one for after your frosts have passed. I do have another couple of flowers that I direct sow. They're not necessarily cut flowers, but they are very beneficial to your garden, and that is nasturtium and calendula. Again, I will put them in about half a fingertip deep because they like that darkness. But I had a massive reduction in aphids last growing season, which was amazing because I definitely had a couple of garden blows, but this was a garden win for me, having less aphids. And I do think it was down to planting those calendula and nasturtium in my flower beds. I love the way that nasturtium flows out of a flower bed. I underplanted it underneath all of my zinnia, and it acted as kind of a mulch, I guess, or a cover crop, and it kept the moisture into that soil. And I just love the way it spills over the garden beds as well. I think it's really pretty. Now, a couple of things that could help your success if you are direct sowing seeds is to keep it watered. So you don't want to direct sow your seeds, water them, and then forget about them and maybe have periods of dry, because if those seeds germinate and then they don't get watered, they're just going to wither and die. So make sure you keep your patch where you've sown your seeds watered. I also recommend going in with a bird netting, because there's nothing more frustrating than direct sowing your seedlings and then a couple of blackbirds coming and digging them all up, and they sit out with their roots out and die. So birds are a massive problem here at the moment. I have planted out a whole bed of campanula and the blackbirds have dug them all up, and I bought those plugs in. So I've lost a fair bit of money on those campanula plugs. I've tried to save a few, but I don't know how they're going to go. They're pretty ripped up and destroyed. So yeah, protecting from your birds, keeping them watered, and also protecting from slugs and snails, especially with those ones where you're sowing and the weather's cooler and we might have damp weather. It's prime for slugs to come in and demolish your whole crop as soon as they're germinated. If you are in New Zealand, I really like the Tui Quash pellets. They're more of a natural slug pellet, and I just go over those on the patch that I've direct sowed my seeds, and that should keep the slugs away. But you can use bear traps as well. You can use harsher slug pellets if you prefer. A way to protect them from just getting wiped out as soon as they germinate. I hope this gives you a little bit of confidence to try some direct sowing. Again, I really am not a massive fan of it, but I will do it with these flowers because they are easier. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Have a great week, and I hope you get into your gardens very soon.